My name is David Paltrow. In the next few minutes, I'm going to tell you how the most terrifying moment of my life, when I found myself in tears, screaming at my own wife and waving my fist in her face, led me to discover the most incredible vitiligo treatment breakthrough of the 21st century. Going from this to this in only a few weeks. Based on sensational new research at the University of Pennsylvania and Johns Hopkins University, this 100% natural method goes against every theory on vitiligo ever written. This same method effortlessly tackled every vitiligo spot on my face, my hands, and chest. This method doesn't involve any surgery, gels, or eczema or laser. It's so dirt cheap that it might as well be free, and it's so easy to do. You can put it into action from your own home starting today. Just a few weeks after implementing the method I'm about to teach you, you will experience the rush of seeing new skin color miraculously developing all over your vitiligo spots on your face, arms, legs, back, and chest. It'll leave your friends and family speechless, and every vitiligo sufferer you know desperate to know your secret. You'll soon discover how everything you thought you knew about vitiligo is dead wrong. And you'll discover how a breakthrough vitiligo healing secret known only to a remote tribe in the jungles of Sri Lanka has made these people practically immune to vitiligo. This secret tribal trick has allowed me to naturally reverse my vitiligo and completely transform my appearance. In the next 3 minutes, I'm going to show you hard scientific proof from research carried out at the Garvan Institute of Medical Research in Australia and Thames Valley University in Brentford, England, proving that your vitiligo can be healed 100% naturally, safely, and quickly, without the needs for any prescription meds, gels, or steroid creams, without any expensive, painful, and inconvenient laser treatments or surgery, and without any bland, restrictive diets that make mealtimes seem like a chore. But best of all, you can do this from the comfort of your own home, using simple and inexpensive ingredients picked up at your local grocery store. This simple home-based protocol can be used successfully by anyone, whether you're suffering from mild or severe vitiligo, whether you've had vitiligo for 10 minutes or 10 years, and whether you're 19 or 90 years old, or even if everyone has told you it's impossible to reverse vitiligo, because the truth is, it's not impossible. In fact, this little trick has already been used to help over 63,000 people dramatically transform their skin appearance, so you can begin to safely heal vitiligo starting today. Let's take a look at just a few of those success stories. Peter contacted me just 8 days ago to help him treat his vitiligo that started 21 years ago. He can already see new natural color growing all over his old white vitiligo spots. He's never felt more confident and youthful. Wasim, age 55, began using this natural vitiligo reversing secret just 6 weeks ago and now has new, even-toned vitiligo-free skin for his daughter's wedding next month. His family is overjoyed at the transformation. How amazing is that? Sally, a mother of 2 who suffered from vitiligo spots on her arms and face since she was a teenager, never thought this protocol would work. But after 2 months, her vitiligo patches are gone and she feels as sexy and attractive as ever. And Anjita Bomik, a 27-year-old sales rep who had vitiligo all over her cheeks, used this secret to reverse her condition in weeks. Her colleagues still cannot believe she did it without surgery, and her sales commissions have doubled with her new look. Can you imagine just days from now the thrill and excitement of seeing new, even-colored skin developing all over your vitiligo spots? Imagine no longer feeling powerless at the sight of discolored areas on your arms, legs, chest, and face appearing from nowhere. Or no longer looking in the mirror every day, feeling miserable and depressed, wondering where your even-toned skin went. Imagine ending the embarrassment and stigma of being a vitiligo sufferer, the hits to your self-esteem, and the lack of confidence. Imagine no longer having to hide the spots with long shirts and tons of makeup. Instead, you'll be able to take control of your skin. Yes, you may be feeling skeptical, thinking this all sounds too good to be true. I felt the exact same way not that long ago. But just stay with me for a moment more, because I will not only explain the indisputable medical science behind these results, I will also explain the steps you can take today to achieve the same miraculous results. But before I reveal any more, I must warn you about something. Big Pharma and the multi-billion-dollar vitiligo treatment industry are angry. Make that furious with me for speaking to you today. They're not happy that I, a regular American dad with no biochemistry background, made this discovery, and not them with their scientists and multi-million-dollar laboratories. They're even angrier that this quick, simple, and inexpensive method was right under their noses the whole time. So they are doing everything in their power to prevent me from sharing this information with you today. I urge you to watch this video until the very end and discover this secret while you still can, because there's no guarantee this video will still be up tomorrow or even in a few hours. As I said, my name is David Paltrow. I'm 48 years old and a manager of a small family-run legal firm, and I live in East Providence, Rhode Island, with my wife, Kathy. You're probably wondering how an average guy like myself came to stumble upon the most significant vitiligo treatment breakthrough of the century. Well, sharing my story with you today isn't easy for me to do, because what I'm about to reveal was one of the most embarrassing and soul-destroying moments of my entire life. It all started about 12 years ago when I noticed that my shoulder itched a bit. I figured it was probably the new detergent I'd used, so I didn't give it much thought. Soon after, though, my wife noticed a big white splotch on my back and another big one on my left arm. "It looks like your skin coloring just fading away," she said. My wife, Kathy, had always commented on how much she loved my smooth, even-toed skin. Weird, I thought. But with the itching gone and no other symptoms, I just let it go. A few weeks later, a few more white spots appeared on my legs and on my stomach, and in less than a month, they spread to other parts of my body, including my face. Oh God, I looked in the mirror and I was almost unrecognizable. Vitiligo patches covered my entire mouth and chin, above my right eyebrow, and under my left eye, and my entire neck was covered with white vitiligo skin. I began to panic, and people began to notice. My family doctor suggested it might be an allergic reaction or skin infection. It wasn't. I started getting these curious stares from people on the street, in the line at Starbucks, and at my office, both from clients and from those I've known for years. One day, I overheard colleagues at my office whispering, "Do you think it's contagious?" My boss asked if I suffered from a skin condition and requested that I see a doctor before coming back to work. Embarrassed, I finally went to a dermatologist. He diagnosed me right away, vitiligo, but he wasn't sure how to handle my fast-growing spots. What happened next shocked me to the core. "This isn't something we can heal," said the dermatologist. "Sometimes it can be controlled, but in most cases it gets worse and worse until the entire body is affected." By the time I hit my mid-30s, there would be no hiding my condition, he explained. I left his office in tears. As the years went by, my confidence took a beating. Vitiligo had spread to my face and both hands, and I could tell that Kathy found me less and less attractive. We used to have sex regularly, but now Kathy always has an excuse. "I've got a headache," she'd say. "I've got to get up early for work in the morning. I'm too tired," was her favorite. Yep, we never talked about it, but my vitiligo was destroying our sex life and our marriage. I was desperate to find a solution. Over the years, I tried every vitiligo treatment known to science: topical corticosteroids, UVB phototherapy, immunomodulators, topical psoralen therapy, oral psoralen, photochemotherapy, PUVA, eczema laser, Chinese medicine, acupuncture, magnetic therapy, allergy elimination diets, you name it. The vast majority of these treatments did not work at all. Acupuncture did not have any effect. The steroid creams I applied had various side effects, some I won't even mention here. With some treatments, such as the eczema laser, I noticed some relief as the color of the white patches became a bit darker, but it was temporary. A few weeks later, the white patches came back, and even grew. I decided to accept my fate, let nature take its course, and face the truth that I'd be this way for the rest of my days. And that I'd have to go through life feeling insecure and self-conscious, and that my wife would never find me sexually attractive ever again. And that would be the end of my incredible true story if it wasn't for a shocking incident. Just 2 months later, I found myself standing in front of my wife, crying my eyes out and waving my fist at her, a terrifying moment that, strangely enough, saved me from a life of vitiligo. What happened to make me act like a lunatic? Well, it's an embarrassing story, but it's important that I tell you the story so you can understand what vitiligo did to my state of mind and my marriage. It all started when we were sitting in the kitchen eating dinner. Kathy went upstairs to the powder room. I noticed her phone on the table. A message pinged, and all I could see was the contact name, Jack, on the screen. I sat for a minute. I tapped my fingers until the urge to look became too much. I didn't want to be that guy. You know, the one who was constantly checking and worrying about what his wife is up to. But my confidence was so low at the time that I felt I had no choice. Kathy had no idea that I knew the passcode on her phone. And I was in seconds. What did I read? Well, you know that feeling you get when you read some terrible news? It's like your heart drops into your stomach. That was how I felt. My wife was having an affair. It was awful. I looked at Jack's profile photo. He looked a little like me, but he had the most perfect skin I ever saw on a man. It made me feel pathetic, like I wasn't good enough for Kathy anymore, like I wasn't the man she wanted. I quickly read through as many messages as I could before Kathy came back downstairs. There were dozens of them. Messages between my wife and this Jack. The messages were lewd. They were painful to read, but I couldn't stop. Imagine my wife doing things with another man made me angry as hell. I couldn't stop thinking about her with this guy, kissing him and running her hands on his skin, like she used to do with me. There must have been steam coming out of my ears, but it was about to get worse. As I scanned the messages, I noticed that Kathy had written the following. I just don't find him attractive since his vitiligo has spread to his face and arms. I feel terrible, but that's just the way I feel. It was brutal. My vitiligo had literally driven my wife into the hands of another man. Just then, Kathy came bounding into the room, and I just snapped. I totally lost it. I was in a rage. I cried and waved my fist in front of her face, screaming like a total madman. What the hell are you doing? Kathy yelled at me. Have you gone crazy? Kathy pleaded with me to calm down as she backed away, and at that moment I saw myself in the kitchen mirror. Shocked at the reflection staring back at me, I ran out of the house as fast as I could. For the next 3 weeks, I stayed away from Kathy. I was ashamed at my actions and angry at her. But I knew what I needed to do. I still loved Kathy, and I wanted my wife back. I couldn't imagine my life without her. But I knew she'd never feel physically attracted to me again unless I had my old skin tone back. And I knew I'd never really feel truly happy and secure in myself until I made it happen. I didn't know where to turn or what to do. But just when I was about to give up, I met the man who would change everything. One day I visited the hospital for a checkup. To this day, I can't explain what made me stay in the waiting room after the checkup was finished. Still, I'm so glad I did, because what happened next would literally save my life. After a few minutes, an elderly couple sat beside me and we struck up a conversation. The husband's name was Lackmal. It turned out that Lackmal was 91 years old and his wife was at the hospital for a hip replacement. He asked me why I was there, and I explained. The old man looked at my vitiligo patches on my face and arms and smiled, a knowing smile, and then he turned his head towards me. I come from a place where vitiligo doesn't even exist, he said, and it's because of the food we eat and the lifestyle we lead. Where do you come from? I said excitedly. A remote jungle village called Dambana in Sri Lanka, replied Lackmal. For 80 years, I belonged to a tiny tribe called the Veda, but I moved to America to be with my grandchildren and great-grandchildren, he said. Can you help me? I asked. Of course, if you want to be helped. At that moment, the overhead speaker crackled to life, and Lackmal and his wife were called in for their appointment. Desperate to not miss the opportunity, I asked Lakmal for his number. He happily agreed, and I hurriedly typed it into my phone. "Phone me whenever you like. I can help you," he said, as he walked away holding his wife's hand. As I drove home, I couldn't stop thinking about what this little old Sri Lankan man had said, and as soon as I got home, I started researching the Veda people, and I couldn't believe what I found. Apparently, back in 2018, researchers at the University of Peradeniya in Sri Lanka traveled to the remote villages of Dambana to delve into the diet and lifestyle of the Veda tribe. According to the study, there were no recorded cases of vitiligo or even psoriasis. Not a single one. The tribe members were all lean, athletic, and a picture of health, even those in their 80s and 90s. In fact, none of the tribe had even heard of vitiligo, psoriasis, acne, eczema, or any skin disorder for that matter. The report concluded that there's a very low risk of the Veda ever developing skin issues. It seemed that Lakmal really did have the secret to reversing my own vitiligo. So I called him the very next day, begging him to tell me more. 3 days later, I received a big brown parcel in the post from Lakmal. I excitedly ripped it open to find an old handwritten treatment book about skin disorders, mainly for vitiligo. Inside, there were dozens of traditional Veda protocols and recipes. The problem was, it was written in the Veda dialect. I couldn't read a word of it. Thankfully, with Lakmal's help, I was able to translate the protocols and recipes. According to the guide, vitiligo is caused by the aggravation of Pitta dosh. Aggravated Pitta leads to the accumulation of toxins, called AMA, in the deep layers of the skin. These toxins lead to vitiligo. One type of Pitta, Brajak Pitta, is responsible for the skin's color pigmentation. In the case of vitiligo, Brajak Pitta becomes imbalanced, causing the skin to lose its color and white patches to appear. So basically, the treatment in this guide consisted of pacifying imbalanced body energies, restoring digestion, cleansing the blood, and using herbs to restore skin color. In fact, a study at the Garvan Institute of Medical Research in Australia by Dr. Nigel Turner demonstrated that poor digestion combined with specific blood toxins were the main causes of vitiligo. As well, population studies show that societies that consume most of their calories from foods recommended by Ayurvedic medicine to promote blood circulation and skin health have practically zero cases of vitiligo. A study done in India in 1998, for example, showed that when the Indians cooked without traditional Ayurvedic foods and herbs and started consuming Western foods, the rates of vitiligo shot up. This was amazing news. But that wasn't even half the story. You see, some ingredients from the recipes were readily available in the US, but I knew the Veda diet must have other elements that made them practically immune to vitiligo, and I wasn't going to stop until I found them. So I busily started looking into other natural ingredients found in the recipes. Within hours, I discovered a study from Thames Valley University in Brentford, England. The study showed that one common household spice used by the Veda people reduced white skin patches by 47%. While another study published in Agricultural Research magazine found that consuming just 1 gram of the spice each day can increase melanin production and even reverse vitiligo. Yeah, they actually said that. It could reverse vitiligo. But there was more. I discovered another ingredient that reduced the white skin patches by an average of 95% and actually increased the productivity of melanin by 28%. And that was just the beginning. In fact, I couldn't believe what I was reading. There were dozens more natural herbs, spices, plant extracts, and other easy-to-find foods proven in clinical studies to effectively resetting the skin pigmentation production and therefore reversing vitiligo. I was anxious to develop some kind of formula. I realized the recipes Lakmal gave me must have been around for decades, if not centuries. The science proved they worked, but the question was how fast and how effective would they be for people like me with severe vitiligo? Now I went one step further and used modern science and 21st century knowledge to refine and improve these traditional recipes, which I hoped would unlock the door to reversing vitiligo. The problem was I wasn't a doctor. I had no idea how to do it. So I contacted the University of Peradeniya in Sri Lanka, which had run the original study into the Veda people. But there was bad news. The professor and lead researcher of the study was no longer at the university. Once again, I felt stuck with no idea which way to turn. But when all hope seemed lost, I received a phone call from the university. It came from a man called Chaminda Kulasekara, and it would lead to the biggest breakthrough in vitiligo treatment in the last 100 years. Although Chaminda wasn't at the university at the time of this original study, he was a specialist in endocrinology with 23 years of experience, and he had a personal interest in vitiligo. His own father had been diagnosed with vitiligo just 6 years before, and he was passionate about finding a treatment plan that wouldn't involve drugs, creams, or surgery. But the university was not prepared to fund his research. I asked Chaminda why, and what he said next shocked me to my core. The majority of medical research funding we received comes from the pharmaceutical companies, he said. Skin disorders are already worth $245 billion to Big Pharma. It's one of their biggest earners, he continued. I couldn't believe what I heard, but he was right. We're not talking billions in profits for Big Pharma anymore, Chaminda continued. We're talking trillions. What Chaminda was saying made me feel physically sick, and I became more determined than ever to develop a natural treatment plan. I told Chaminda all about my condition and showed him how vitiligo had spread throughout my body, and I begged him to help me develop my research into something that could actually work. In return for nominal payment, Chaminda agreed to work on a treatment protocol in his spare time, and from that moment on, we set off on a year-long journey to reverse vitiligo. Chaminda firmly believed that by using the relevant protocols in a unique chronological order and combining the right ingredients in the correct amounts, we could create a powerful step-by-step plan to trigger melanin production in the vitiligo spots, regain the natural color of the skin, and therefore reverse vitiligo. Over 12 months, Chaminda threw himself into his research. From the basement of his home in Sri Lanka, he created a state-of-the-art laboratory. In the lab, he tested and trialed thousands of different combinations of ingredients on dozens of mice affected with vitiligo. On their own, each protocol and ingredient produced impressive changes. But once Chaminda found the correct combinations and the perfect quantities, the results were spectacular. In fact, he created a series of delicious meals that were 7 times more powerful than those consumed by the Veda tribe of Sri Lanka. And as Chaminda explained, unlike a drug or prescribed cream that would require years of testing and FDA approval, we could start using our protocols on vitiligo patients right away because the formulas were 100% natural. We just needed one willing patient. Of course, that first patient was me. The next morning, I visited my local grocery store to pick up all the ingredients, and I started the program right away, following the exact protocol that Chaminda had recommended. The first 24 hours passed, and I noticed no significant change in my skin. Day 2 and 3 went by, still no improvement. My initial excitement and expectations waned, and I doubted everything that Chaminda had told me. Was I foolish enough to think that a simple series of digestion and detox protocols, a few herbal remedies, and a few dishes based on the Veda recipes could reverse my vitiligo? No, because on day 4, something incredible happened. It was a crisp October morning, and I remember it like it was yesterday. The white vitiligo spots on my neck, mouth, eyes, and eyebrows, left arm, and both legs had started to fade. I couldn't believe it. From this point on, the improvement was remarkable. Over the next 3 weeks, the skin on my face, arms, and legs showed a 90% decrease in vitiligo patches. In less than 5 weeks, I had no trace of vitiligo on my body or my face. It was nothing short of a miracle. But on top of that, I lost a huge amount of weight, exactly 35 pounds, and my overall health improved every day. I had so much more energy. I was sleeping better, and I felt 20 years younger. My children couldn't believe what they were seeing. A couple of guys with vitiligo at the law firm practically begged me for my protocol, so I happily gave it to them. And within weeks, they told me just how easy it was to follow and how quickly and effectively it worked. One of the single guys at work started getting more dates than he had had in decades, more than he could even handle. Another noticed how he was being treated with more respect. Of course, I was happy that I was making others happy. Their new confidence had completely changed their relationships with their spouses and girlfriends. But deep down, I desperately wanted my wife back. 6 months after running out of the house, after discovering my wife's affair, I was back. And I looked and felt like a totally different man. Kathy couldn't believe the difference. We talked and eventually patched things up. I felt full of confidence again, secure in myself and proud about the way I looked. And Kathy couldn't keep her hands off me. The sex was better than ever because I felt 20 years younger. And Kathy was most definitely attracted to me again. My protocol had given me my wife back and literally transformed my entire life. And it felt fantastic. It really did work. And I was desperate to get this treatment protocol out to the public as soon as possible. But at the same time, I was well aware that I'd only trialed it on a few people. I needed more proof. Over the next few weeks, I posted a series of advertisements on the internet requesting volunteers. In total, 106 people in various stages of vitiligo agreed to take part in the experiment. The results were better than any of us could have imagined. 100% of patients achieved a drop in their vitiligo symptoms of at least 85%, and some as high as 95 and 98% and more, literally growing new, smooth, and naturally colored skin, replacing their vitiligo spots. What's more, the average weight loss was 23 pounds, and patients reported huge reductions in cholesterol levels, triglycerides, and blood pressure. They also saw improvements in energy levels, muscle tone, mental agility, and even vision. In the following weeks, I received hundreds of emails, letters, and phone calls from thrilled volunteers thanking me for changing their lives. And at that moment, I knew that I couldn't keep this discovery secret any longer. I decided to contact Chaminda and ask him to help me prepare this protocol for public use. But before I reveal what you will get with this protocol and how you can start using it to reverse your vitiligo, I want you to understand that this is extremely personal to me. It was like being born again. I'm not a religious guy, but I felt like this was a gift from God. Pure, overwhelming joy coursed through my body. I'm not ashamed to admit it. It was such an overpowering feeling that I burst into tears right there and then. I had done it. Right then and there, I decided to put it online for each and every man and woman to see. I packaged all the material, all my research, the working combinations and experiments to create a comprehensive, easy, and step-by-step vitiligo healing program that anybody can follow. And now, I want to give it to you. I call it the Vitiligo Miracle, a powerful solution to your temporary vitiligo problem. This 100% natural, simple, safe, and easy to follow program contains the exact step-by-step formula that I used to reverse my vitiligo within weeks, transform my confidence and self-esteem, get my wife back, and feel happier than I have in years. I can hardly wait for you to experience the same results yourself, starting today. So let's take a look at what you will find inside. First off, you'll get the Vitiligo Miracle Guide. This is the big daddy of the program, where you will get unrestricted access to my highly optimized, up-to-date, and complete combinations of nutrients, ingredients, vitamins, and foods, scientifically proven to address the root cause of your vitiligo according to the Ayurveda. This will in turn instruct your body to produce melanin in the vitiligo-affected areas, regardless of how much melanin you've lost, how old you are, or whether you're male or female. This approach is 100% unique to the Vitiligo Miracle, and you will not find it anywhere else. Included in the guidebook is an easy-to-follow, day-by-day protocol, schedule, and calendar to teach you exactly what foods to eat in the right combinations. I describe how quick and easy it is to put this protocol to work starting today, and how to run it for as long as you like on autopilot with little effort. I also talk about my special vitamins, minerals, and teas that will help turbocharge this process of growing new, naturally colored skin. Adding this special formula to your diet is like spreading the finest seed on your yard and watching the grass sprout and grow into a thick and luscious lawn. Your new skin. But that's not all you're getting. As well as the main guidebook, I'm also going to give you the complete handbook of nature's cures. This complete guide to naturopathy contains 265 pages of valuable information on how to cure common ailments naturally. The book offers insight into hundreds of diseases and shows you how to treat them holistically in the comfort of your home. $39.95 value, yours free. And there's more. Bonus number 2, how and when to be your own doctor. Be Your Own Doctor explores the differences between naturopathic approaches and traditional medicine. The book is loaded with true life examples and valuable ideas of how to implement a hygienic diet and lead a healthier life. $29.95 value, yours free. And here's a super bonus for you. One-on-one counseling with me for 1 month. Yes, for a limited time only, free private counseling is just an email away. Just email me your question and I promise to answer within 24 hours. Of course, there's a limit to the number of emails I can answer in a day. So no matter how committed I feel to helping others, this invaluable personal guidance will not be offered forever. And don't forget, this is a 100% natural and completely safe treatment program. So there's absolutely zero risk to your health. We're not talking about completely altering your diet here or starving yourself. I couldn't do that, and I don't expect you to either. Instead, all you need to do is add a few of these combinations of powerful natural ingredients to as many of your meals as you can each day. And within the program, I'll be revealing the exact amounts and combinations you need to achieve the fastest results possible. That's literally all it takes to start reproducing the lost melanin on your vitiligo spots again. And just imagine for a moment how that would feel. Imagine no longer feeling self-conscious about your skin. Imagine the confidence you'll have when you look in the mirror and for the first time in years or even decades, see even-toned skin with no vitiligo spots staring back at you. Imagine walking freely with t-shirts and shorts or even bathing suits, showing off your even-colored, smooth skin that looks just like it did when you were in your teens or early 20s. Imagine what it will feel like to see the faces of your spouse, your friends, your coworkers, and your kids when they see the transformation for themselves. And imagine the feeling you'll have when you walk down the street feeling 10 feet tall and looking 20 years younger. I can tell you firsthand, this is an experience and feeling that you will never forget. In fact, over 63,000 men and women just like you have used the Vitiligo Miracle already and are experiencing these feelings right now. Here's a message we received last month. David, my 8-year-old daughter Abigail suddenly developed many depigmented spots on her back. Seeing these, I had taken her to our family physician. He diagnosed it as vitiligo and prescribed some local steroidal ointment, which helped a little in the beginning. We tried every treatment that was suggested to us, but nothing really helped contain the spread of the white spots. She would itch at the places where the spots were and would cry when it became unbearable. I downloaded your course. And in just about 7 weeks, Abigail is so much better. She feels better overall, and the spots are already beginning to disappear. It is amazing. I'm attaching Abigail's before and after images of her back taken 2 weeks ago. Thank you, and God bless. And Terrell, who was so ashamed of his white vitiligo patches that he never went outside without his trusty cap. I was so happy for him and so glad he contacted me and decided to put my protocol to the test. 7 weeks on, he has fantastic, even-colored skin, and he's finally dared to wear short-sleeve shirts. And even better, his girlfriend is ecstatic with her man's new look. Milton thought he was too old to try my program. Can you believe it? I explained to him that even a 100-year-old still has the same skin healing mechanism as a 20-year-old. It's just a case of turning that mechanism on. He decided to give it a shot, and 51 days later, he's now free of vitiligo. Great work, Milton. And here's the email I received yesterday from Larry Henderson of Flint, Michigan. David, I just wanted to say thank you for everything you have done and for getting this treatment out to the public and people like me. I started noticing a few vitiligo spots in my mid-20s, and I've hated looking in the mirror every day since. I tried all the usual treatments with no success, and I had very little faith that this would work either. I'm so glad I abandoned my skepticism and tried it. It's been the best money I have ever spent in my entire life, and I feel so much happier. Thank you. I have thousands more success stories just like this from people all over the world who have used this program to reproduce years of lost melanin, boost their confidence, self-esteem, and look years younger in a matter of weeks. And I'm sure you can agree there's nothing like the Vitiligo Miracle out there at the moment. I'm 100% sure of that. Also consider that my powerful vitiligo solution is 100% safe and natural, and it works within weeks. And considering the results my clients have seen, together with the risks I took in developing this treatment and then making it available to the public, I'm sure you can understand why I originally considered charging as much as $597 for it. But here's the thing. I didn't create this video to make money. And you've heard my story. I've been through what you are going through right now. I have made this video because I know firsthand how upsetting it can be to watch your naturally colored skin damaged by vitiligo day after day, to feel less attractive and ashamed and embarrassed to be seen in public and not be able to do anything about it, to be so desperate for a solution such as laser or surgery that often does not work at all and pay thousands of dollars for the privilege. None of these options are real solutions, like the Vitiligo Miracle. Believe me, I know exactly what you're going through. I understand the humiliation and depression that comes with vitiligo, and I don't want you to feel that way anymore. I wouldn't even wish it upon my worst enemy. And after seeing the stunning results of this treatment for myself, I could not deny others the opportunity to experience these results for themselves. So the last thing I want is for the price to be a factor in your decision. As a result, I'm not going to ask you to pay anything close to $597, even though that price would be an absolute bargain for what you're getting access to here. And I'm not going to ask you to pay $397 either, or $197, or even $97 for that matter. My conscience won't allow it. Instead, on this website, only if you act right now, right this second, you can get my fully comprehensive Vitiligo Miracle Guidebook with a complete action plan and timetable, plus the 2 bonus ebooks and the unique one-of-a-kind 1-month coaching sessions with me. And you get everything for the one-time only price of just $37, which is enough to cover my costs and allow me to keep this website and video running. And all you need to do to get started is hit the Add to Order button below. Once you do that, you'll be sent to my secure checkout page where you can enter your details. And from there, you'll be directed straight through to your private members area where you can download the entire program to your computer, laptop, cell phone, or tablet and start your journey towards a smooth, even-colored, and healthy skin within the next 2 minutes. But here's something else you need to know. You see, I completely understand if you're feeling a little skeptical about everything you've just seen and heard during this presentation. I would be too. So to put your mind at rest, I've decided to include a rock-solid 60-day money-back guarantee with every order. That means all you have to say right now is maybe, and you can take advantage of my full 2-month risk-free trial and put the full Vitiligo Miracle to the test. Read the guide and try out the protocol and the recipes. And if you don't see a dramatic decrease of your vitiligo spots and a noticeable improvement in new melanin production in your vitiligo areas during that time, then simply email me at the address provided in the members area, and I'll refund every single cent of your investment with no questions asked. This is a completely risk-free decision. I'm holding all the risk. It's that simple. If this protocol doesn't help you the way it helped me, then I don't want your money. This protocol succeeded for me after years of medications, laser treatments, and creams had failed. I have regained my naturally colored and even-toned skin, and I look and feel great. I want you to feel the same, with no pressure and no catches. So click the Add to Cart button below, and I urge you to grab this opportunity while you still can. Right now, you have 3 options. Option 1, you can say thanks, but no thanks, David, and simply click away from this presentation. If that's what you decide to do, I wish you all the best. But remember, by walking away now, you could be losing out on your one and only chance to have healthy, even-toned, vitiligo-free skin again, just like you enjoyed in your youth. You'll be accepting a lifetime of Band-Aid solutions, a lifetime of constantly hiding your vitiligo and feeling self-conscious and unattractive, where you look years older than you actually are. And let's face it, is that really what you want? When there's a proven solution staring you in the face right now? Or what about option 2? The medications, steroid creams, or medical treatments? With this option, you can choose to spend $1,000 a year on laser treatments or corticosteroid creams or grafting surgeries, which will do nothing to your vitiligo spots in the long run. Or worse, create a whole bunch of nasty side effects like the ones I experienced. Sounds great, right? Or you can try option 3, the safe, easy, and 100% natural option, and invest just $37 in my fast-acting Vitiligo Miracle and put the program to the test, completely risk-free for a full 60 days. Yes, all the risk is on me, but you have nothing to lose, but everything to gain. An even, colored, healthy skin, just like you had in your youth. And all you need to do is click the button below. This has been David Paltrow, and I look forward to hearing your success story very soon. Still here? No problem. Like I said earlier, I understand if you're a little skeptical about everything you've just seen and heard. After all, it's a lot to take in. I get that. And you probably still have a few questions. So to help you out, I've compiled a list of the most frequently asked questions that I've received. The most common questions I get asked are, 1, how does this treatment work? And 2, how is it different from other vitiligo remedies like creams, eczema laser, or grafting surgery? Well, first of all, my protocol is 100% natural. There are no toxic drugs involved, so you won't experience any nasty side effects. And unlike these options, which can set you back hundreds of dollars each year for no real progress, my protocol just costs $37. So how does it work? Well, it works by targeting the underlying causes of vitiligo, based on the Ayurveda. It works by pacifying imbalanced body energies, restoring digestion, cleansing the blood, and using herbs that will eventually restore your natural skin color. A lot of people also ask me what they receive in the Vitiligo Miracle. So if you're not completely sure, let me quickly confirm for you. When you place your order today, you will receive the entire program, which you'll be able to download straight to your PC, laptop, cell phone, or tablet from your private members area. The program includes the main guidebook, including the exact formula you need to treat vitiligo naturally. It consists of a set of special ingredients, as well as their exact amounts and combinations, all proven to heal vitiligo. As well as the main guide, you will also receive 2 bonus ebooks and my unique one-of-a-kind coaching bonus. With the coaching bonus, you'll always stay on track and have all of your questions answered, making the protocol much more effective to achieve faster and more impressive results. Many people are also a little worried about ordering online and ask whether their order is secure. And if you're worried about that, don't be. Firstly, my ordering system benefits from state-of-the-art encryption, so when you place your order with me, your information is 100% safe. In fact, you can feel more secure ordering through us than from almost anywhere else on the internet. Plus, your order is protected by my 60-day money-back guarantee, which I'm happy to offer because I'm so confident in the success of the protocol. This means that all you need to do today is say, maybe, and you can then spend the next 60 days putting it to the test completely risk-free from the comfort of your own home. And if you don't see the change you expected, or you change your mind for any reason at all, then all you need to do is email me at the address provided in the members area, and I will issue a full and prompt refund with no questions asked and no hard feelings. So if you want to start reproducing melanin and regaining even-toned skin quickly and naturally, regain your lost confidence and self-esteem, and look years younger in the process, then I urge you to act now when you still have the chance. To get started, simply click on the button below, and I'll see you on the inside.